Hey guys, it's Wildcat6305 coming to you from Ike's Treehouse outside of Augusta, Georgia. Today I'm showing my Catan collection, or Settlers of Catan, depending on which edition you have. I have the 5th edition, so as you can see, my boxes just say Catan. But just overall, real quick, I have the base Catan for 3 to 4 players, and then I have the 5 to 6 player extension, and then I have Seafarers expansion with the extension, the Cities and Knights expansion and extension, the Traders and Barbarians expansion and the extension, and then I also have Explorers and Pirates with the extension. So the base Catan, I have the base Catan plus all 5 expansions and their extensions, or 4 expansions and their extensions, is what I have. And as you can see, it's quite a feat to get it all spread out and have it all put together. It is quite a storage challenge if you don't have it planned out to have all this. And to show you what I did with that as well is I have a tackle box that I got from Walmart, and got this from this fishing department. I really like the way everything turned out. I have everything minus the Explorers and Pirates set in this tackle box to play Catan. And Explorers and Pirates is such a different expansion that really it hasn't been a big problem, because my group, we haven't made it to the Explorers and Pirates yet. I can barely get all of the things I want in Traders and Barbarians and Seafarers, much less even thinking about venturing out to Explorers and Pirates. But to show you how I got my tackle box organized, I have some pencils and a pen here on this side. Here, gotta look at my screen. Over in this compartment, I have the dice, the Barbarian ship for Cities and Knights, the Pirate ship for Seafarers, of course the robber piece, Cities and Knights dice, the Cities and Knights Metropolis pieces and merchant pieces, keeping that little bag right there, and that all stays nicely in that compartment there on the top. This lid opens up, and I found these deck boxes online. I think they're actually like magic card boxes or something like that. I think I got them off of Amazon. They came in like a pack of 5. So 3 of them I use for Catan, and the other 2 I use with Axis and Allies. But each, so I have all the base Catan cards in the red box. I have all the Traders and Barbarians cards in the blue box, and the Cities and Knights in the green box. And as you can see, green, close enough to purple, and then red. So they all kind of line up with what's what. Here in this open tray, I keep the frame pieces. I have them rubber banded together so they don't go sliding around. I have all the cards for the Cities and Knights for the expansion, or for the city building. And then I have all the game aids, the player cards, and of course the largest army, harbor master, and longest road cards there. Underneath that, I have the Barbarian hex for Cities and Knights. I went and printed off and laminated some of the Wonders of Catan cards for Seafarers to play the Wonder scenario. And then I also have the river tokens that go along in Traders and Barbarians, and then some frame pieces there. And these are just various pieces. And some extra rubber bands, because you always seem to need rubber bands, because they'll always seem to pop at the worst possible time. But all this goes back in here and closes nicely. And then this is just a tray for some extra stuff. I think these are some extra blank cards and stuff that came with it. And this was a blank token, and this was this was an extra road for white, and this was a bridge that was defective and I had to get it replaced. But this top just snaps down quite nicely. And then we have this middle section here that has 3 trays that come out. And then I have these 2 side trays as well, or these 2 side compartments. This is all the base Catan hexes that come with the base hexes. In this side compartment, I keep all the base Catan plus the extension pieces plus their probabilities, and the Traders and Barbarians base and extension hexes in there. And may as well at this point in time, you may be wondering, how do I keep all this stuff together, or how do I keep it, know what goes to what, because I could really mess up the game. Well, for my base Catan, I went and coated everything on base Catan red, and if it came with the base game, I drew 1 dot on each side of the hex. And for all my 5 to 6 player extensions, I put 2 dots on here. So this is the extension set for the Traders and Barbarians. I coated all of those black, but all of those have 2 dots on them to indicate that they're the Traders and Barbarians set. So when we're picking up and cleaning up after a game, all I gotta do is just grab all the hexes, put them in a stack, and then just flip them on the side, and then I can see which ones need to be sorted together. It makes for some really fast cleanup. I really didn't like the idea of having to write on the back, especially when you get in some of the later games where you're supposed to have, hexes flipped over and trying to explore. I just kind of felt like that was give the perception of some some cheating or something like that, possibly, or could just mess it up, and I really didn't want to write on the back. But as you can see, Seafarers are marked blue, and this is the Seafarer C pieces from the 5 to 6 player extension. The same thing, 2 blue dots on here. And so this whole side compartment here is the Seafarers. Everything that we need to play Seafarers is on this side. So what do I have in these trays? So in the trays here, I have all the player pieces split up. Everybody has their own row, essentially. I have the base game pieces here. So that's all the roads and cities that come with the base game. And everything's in its own bag. And then these are all the pieces that come that you need for Traders and Barbarians. And then these are all the pieces for Cities and Knights. So all these are right here, and depending on what version we're playing, depending on what scenarios and variants we got going on, we can just grab as many as we need, depending on what we're doing. So that's just the base pieces. The next box that I have is the Seafarers box. And here I keep all the probabilities separate, all the tokens, all the chits are separate, all of the extra harbors are separate, and then each Seafarers, each player's ships are in their own little separate thing, and then we got the gold pieces in their 2 piles there. Then the next tray is I have all the Traders and Barbarians pieces kept separate in the Traders and Barbarians. So here are all the barbarians for barbarians attack, or traders and barbarians. The camel pieces for the caravans. Some more chits tokens and some gold tokens, plus the trading commodities for traders and barbarians. And then of course the fish hexes, the fish chevrons, and then I have a bag here for all the fish to go in, and so you can draw out your fish when we're playing that in our wealthiest and poorest settler pieces. So all the base game, like I said, everything minus Explorers and Pirates fits into this and it fits into this tackle box, and I really enjoy it. It's easy to do. And then as far as Explorers and Pirates, I have all of them. I have both the extension and the expansion set up in this one, in the expansion box here. It's kind of a tight fit and the lid's not wanting to come off, but got it. So I have all those pieces kept in here, marked the same way accordingly. Like I said, we haven't gotten into this one yet, so I really don't have much experience to go off of that, of how good it is or anything like that. But just from reading the rules, it seems like a fun game, but it does seem very different from the other expansions. It doesn't want to flow as well. The next thing I have here is a notebook made with all the rules. So I have these dividers where the out-of-box rules just slide right in. So I have the base on this side, and then on the back side it has these little pockets of these dividers, and the 5 to 6 player extensions rules slide right back in there. So seafarers, and then I have a little printout from the website talking about combining seafarers with other expansions, cities and knights, and same thing. These are all kind of organized the same way. Some other printouts on combining cities and knights with other expansions, Explorers and Pirates, and last time I played I didn't put the traders and barbarians back in, but it goes in this pocket right here. And then this is probably the biggest section. Next is all these sections. This is all traders and barbarians and the combinations of traders and barbarians in with other games. So when you combine with cities and knights, when you combine with seafarers, when you combine with other traders and barbarian scenarios. And then this is just my table of contents that I made, so I know where to flip to find certain combination rules. And these combination rules are from the Catan website, and they just really kind of give you some guidance when you combine certain things together, such as if you combine cities and knights with the barbarians attack scenario out of traders and barbarians. It helps you kind of work through some of the conflicts you may have of what to do, because you have a barbarian ship that lands every 7 times the barbarian rolls, or do you put a barbarian on a hex? So it kind of tells you how to go through that and what things you need to do and not do. And then of course, if I can flip to it at the end here, there's also one of my favorite variants is the Traders and Barbarians, and there's some Traders and Barbarians Ultimate, where you put all the scenarios and variables, not variables, all the scenarios and variants of Traders and Barbarians together to play one big Traders and Barbarians game. And then I like to play T&B Ultimate plus Cities and Knights, so I like to add Cities and Knights on top of it too. And to me, that's just probably one of the funnest little scenarios that you can have. Really got to play to definitely a probably about 15, 14 victory points. Here also I have a little game aid, a little resource tracker card that I use, and some players I play with, they like it too. But essentially you just take this card, and it's kind of hard to see on camera, but you fill out if you have a wheat hex, if you have a city on a wheat hex that's on a 4, then you just put 1 tally mark next to 4 under wheat. And then if you upgrade it to a city, then you put 2 on that 4 under wheat, and just kind of keep track of your resources that way. So then if you see, oh, there's a so then, oh, a 5's rolled, then you can just come down here and look at 5 and then go across the chart and see what all you're supposed to get. The only thing I would suggest is make sure if you have an extra road or extra piece or something, if you got the robber sitting on you, you block it out so you don't grab one by mistake. But that's pretty much the my rule book. I do have some other game aids that I won't get into quite yet. But then the other 2 customizations that I have with this is a card deck holder that I made, and this was made out of some Connects. I saw this online and thought it was a really neat idea. So I built 2 of these out of Connects. So they hold 6 cards, and one's all you need for the base game, but when you start playing Cities and Knights, you actually need 2 of these. And I like to set these up where the resource and commodities are set up on Cities and Knights, and then the other one has the other 2 resources plus the development cards, or or progress cards, excuse me. And then, last but not least, is my dice tower. We use this, and it does a pretty good job with Catan because you're only rolling 3 dice. It can handle that pretty well. You'll still occasionally get one shoot out, but it controls the wild dice people, and keeps or most of the time keeps dice from slinging across the board and ruining the board, and then you got to figure out what just happened, where was everything. But yeah, I found some directions on this online. I just made this out of project board, and I got some nails where some little finishing nails where I just kind of stick in there to keep it more permanent, but I didn't do that right now. And then I got these little pads, these little rubber pad things that I put on the bottom of it here, because I do have nails sticking out in the bottom, some finishing nails sticking in the bottom there, just to kind of keep it from, if people pass it, it's not going to scratch on the table. It's just going to be the rubber mat, the rubber feet touching. So this is my Catan setup. It's seen a lot of uses. One thing that we like to do is whenever we have a victory, or well, whenever somebody wins, we write their name in the box and write what we were playing. What if we're just playing base, or if we're playing Catan with Seafarers and Cities and Knights, we like to write what version we had going on in the date. But yeah, it's been pretty fun. So whenever we fill up the first box, we'll move on to the next box top and start going from there. But I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully this will give you some ideas if you're a fellow Catanian as well, and you can store your games when you get this many, if you don't have them all already. And well, all your rolls being 1 doesn't really make sense with Catan, but hope you don't hit a 7.